Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to the live stream on YouTube for WSB Sports. Zach Wilson and Mamadou Cisse giving you Stony Brook men's basketball action from a remote location this weekend, as the Stony Brook Seawolves look to end their 4-game losing streak, as they will be preparing themselves to face their Empire rival, the UAlbany Great Danes. So Mo, we're in for a pretty big weekend series, and this is going to be really one that's going to test both sides to see where they're going to be playing next weekend as the America East playoffs gets off to a start. Yeah, so Stony Brook, they are coming off of a 4-game losing streak. Their last two opponents are the top seeds in the America East. Their most recent against the Vermont Catamounts. They got back Frankie Policelli after he would not be able to play in the weekend series against UMBC to start this month due to a hip injury that he had, that he apparently re-aggravated in the weekend series against Hartford to end January. But when he came back, he was able to put up a pretty big front, even though Stony Brook could not be able to get past Fermin on either one of those two games, but they did manage to keep it close. Both losses were by single digits. In the first game, there was a lot of offense on both sides. Stony Brook lost 86-78. In the second game, a lot more defense, and Vermont still got the win 61-57 after Frankie Policelli may have been pretty close to getting a game-tying shot that he could not be able to get, as Stony Brook was on pretty much a bit of a run. They were down by as much as 14 in the second half of that game, but being able to come quick, there's still reason to believe that despite where Stony Brook is right now, which is currently tied for 8th in the America East along with NGIT, they sweep the series against UAlbany, and they're the 5th seed going to Hartford next weekend. So with that, UAlbany on their side, they are currently 5-7 overall this season, 5-5 in the America East, which is sole possession of 5th place. They were initially tied for 5th with UMass Lowell, but the Riverhawks just dropped their final game of the regular season just about an hour ago to the New Hampshire Wildcats after a blatant pass by Allen Blunt in the final seconds of the game secured New Hampshire's win and guaranteed them to be the 3rd seed in the America East. They will be hosting doing a playoff plot along with the Hartford Hawks. UAlbany is coming off of a hard-fought game. They just played last weekend against UMass Lowell. They split the series with them as well, and apparently there's really a lot of questions to be answered. There may be some injuries coming up for the Great Danes today, but they can't have Antonio Rizzuto injured because he has been the main catalyst on the team. Yeah, and UAlbany, they're really trying to get themselves rolling because right now, one of the players who was part of that preseason all-conference team, Cameron Healy, has been on a major downswing this season. This is what Cameron Healy's been doing so far this season is not the Healy that me and a few other of my friends, Ken Fermin and Jim Ferguson, remembered when he put up a whopping 27 points against the Seawolves in the America East quarterfinal last year. Right now, Healy, he's averaging 4.3 points per game, and that is really a major downside as far as I can tell. He had a better look last season when he was at 16 points per game, starting all 32, but now he is in the bench. He's been demoted, and that's not what you want if you're Cameron Healy. So we'll see who UAlbany is able to work up. They do have some other players that have been rising up pretty much. Like I said, Antonio Rizzuto is the leading scorer on the team with 14.3 points per game. He's coming off of a career-high 25 points against the Riverhawks back on the 12th. He's currently averaging 14.3 points per game and has the best three-point shooting right now for the team. He sits at just at 40% shooting. And then you get this graduate guy named Jarvis Doles, a transfer from Drexel, went to Baltimore, Hammond High School, leads the team with 7 blocks. And with only 7 blocks for UAlbany's defense so far this season, that's pretty hard to see whether or not there's anything good to watch. He is averaging 8.6 points per game and has the best shooting percentage on the team at 57, and he's also an 88% free throw shooter. That's one of the best in the conference overall. That's looking pretty good as far as I can tell, and that may help UAlbany if they want to get it down at CEFQ Arena today. Yeah, both of these teams, they are looking at their ceiling this weekend. If either one gets the sweep, then that sweeper is going to be the 5 seed, and they will get apparently may be able to draw the better end of the straw, despite not having home court advantage in the first weekend of the playoff and probably even the semifinals after that. UMBC and Vermont just had their series concluded last night. Both teams swept the series against each other, but because of the tiebreaker rules, UMBC secures the top seed from the Vermont Catamounts. The last team to get the top seed from Vermont was Stony Brook back in 2016 when they hosted the America East Tournament and went to the NCAA Tournament for the first time in school history. But ever since then, it's been Vermont as the 1 seed. But the last team to dethrone Vermont in the America East playoffs was, of course, UMBC itself. Back in 2018, the America East Championship, Jarius Lyles putting up a game-winning 3 with half a second left to go, putting UMBC in the NCAA tournament and pulling off the upset that nobody's ever going to forget. UMBC claiming that top seed for the first time since 2008, gets home court advantage the entire way through, and is not going to be disappointed as they stay at home. The only disappointment may be his fans. I think for UAlbany, they need to look like a lock from deep because Antonio Rizzuto is going to be that man that's going to lead them with three-point shooting, and Stony Brook's going to have to do the same thing if they want to have a solid chance in any way to try and get back, because Gino Ford knows that everything looks good for Stony Brook. The only problem is that their three-point shooting is abysmal. Last in the conference at 29.6%, and for UAlbany, they are standing at 33.6%. So let's get going with the starting lineup. We just saw some amazing changes. Tyke Green and Juan Felix Rodriguez, as you would expect, in the starting lineup, but Jordan McKenzie and Tyler Stevenson Moore are also part of that starting lineup today for Stony Brook. And the biggest story of them all, Alex Christie, 7-foot junior center from Ontario, is making his first career start. What we only seen out of Alex Christie is that he usually comes in whenever it seems like a game is going to be certain with like a minute or two to go. So this is a big, bold move by Gino Ford. I wonder if there's anything that he knows about Alex Christie that we may not know. What do you think he knows? Sure, going to be a big move to figure out what's going to happen. Meanwhile, on the UAlbany side, they got Antonio Rizzuto as their starter, of course. The junior guard from York, Pennsylvania, went to Northeastern. You also got Jarvis Doles, the graduate forward from Drexel. Is currently averaging 8.6 points per game so far. You got Jamel Horton leading the team in assists at 34 and steals at 15. He has 9.8 points per game. He's a transfer from Pratt Community College. You also got the graduate forward Kellen Taylor at 6.1 rebounds per game, leading the team with 9.9 points per game. And it's going to be a matter of who else is going to step up. You got CJ Kelly from Long Island, actually, at 13.6 per game. So the game is just ready to get underway. as we are about set here on the live stream of YouTube for Stony Brook men's basketball as they play against their Empire rival for what it looks like to be the 62nd and 63rd all-time meeting between these two teams. Stony Brook triple swept the Great Danes last season. Stony Brook looked really good against them, and in that quarterfinal game, it was Stony Brook with UAlbany coming back from injury, able to put up one heck of a front in his return and lead the Seawolves to a 70-67 win over the Great Danes to advance to the semifinal round. UAlbany last year, they were 14-18, 7-9 in the conference. They have not looked good ever since they were pretty much the catalyst at the beginning of the last decade, the same way it was on the women's side when both teams had like consecutive America East Championship wins. Stony Brook has had a lot of opportunities during that stretch, but UAlbany has just always been able to halt them in every way. But not this time. Will Brown, in his 19th season as head coach for the Great Danes, one of the longest tenured coaches in the America East, sitting at a 313, 293 overall record, with Gino Ford in his second season with the team at 28-25 record so far. UAlbany donning in on their home jerseys, the white colors with the names all around. And as Stevenson Moore gets ready for the tip-off for Stony Brook, Kellen Taylor. Ball goes up in the air and is controlled by the Great Danes, and we are underway at Seth Q Arena. UAlbany starts off with possession. Jamel Horton with the ball. It goes over to the left wing for Taylor. Taylor guarded by Green. Trying to find someone inside. Trying to get to Horton. He has to go out to Rizzuto instead. CJ Kelly at the right wing. Goes out to the right corner for Jarvis Doles. He'll take a long contested jumper. Misses. Defended well by Christie, but the rebound still picked up by the Great Danes. Now Tyke Green against Doles inside. Tried to get a floater. Could not connect on the right rim. And Green takes the rebound and Stony Brook gets possession of the ball. Stevenson Moore goes to the left wing. Trying to get to Christie inside. He'll have to pound him forward instead. He's in the paint. His fadeaway jumper. Got it. Stevenson Moore putting up the first few points for the Seawolves today, and he gives Stony Brook an early 2-0 lead a minute into the game. CJ Kelly goes to Rizzuto, right wing, guarded well by McKenzie. Trying to move it across, have to go out to the right wing for Taylor. Taylor back over to Kelly, right wing. Kelly trying to move it inside, can't find anybody available, has to go out for Doles. Doles to the left wing for Horton. Horton trying to push it inside against Rodriguez, 5 between 5. Horton a long contested jumper that went airball big time, and Green picks up another rebound. Now Stevenson Moore goes to the left wing for McKenzie. McKenzie trying to find Christie inside, goes over to Green. Right wing is Stevenson Moore. Rodriguez has to dump off from him. Rodriguez going to step back, take a long three. Misses, too strong off the back iron. Green tried to pick up the rebound, but CJ Kelly takes it away. Now UAlbany backward control. Kelly trying to push it inside quickly. Layup is good. And quickly inside the paint. That was all CJ Kelly as he gets UAlbany's first points of the game. We're all tied up at 2 in the first 2 minutes of the game. Now Rodriguez goes over to Christie. Christie out to McKenzie, right wing. Looking for somebody available. He's guarded well by Kelly. Going inside to Green. Was pushed down, and that's the first foul of the game called against Kellen Taylor. Kellen Taylor is averaging 6.1 rebounds per game, the best rebounder for the Great Danes. He doesn't do anything from deep. He is 0 of 2 this season, 6'6" he is. And not good at the free throw line either, he's 46%. So in the first 2 minutes of action, well, that's what he needs to do to make up for everything else that he can't do. As the refs will wait. Shot clock is at 17, waiting for Rodriguez to get the inbound. They're still taking some time, making sure everything is set. And it looks like that's what they'll be able to do. So Rodriguez now, along the baseline, looking for somebody inside. He has to hurry up. Gets out to Stevenson Moore, right corner. He'll take a three. It's too strong off the back iron. Ball went out of bounds, last touch by Green. Green trying to stay the other way, but it'll go back to UAlbany with 18:03 in the first half. So it's like I said, Stony Brook is not looking particularly well from three-point range so far this season. We don't see Frankie Policelli coming in yet. They really need to make up because, like I said, Frankie Policelli is practically the best three-point shooter on the team. It's UAlbany with possession, CJ Kelly left wing. Guarded well by Stevenson Moore, has to move over to the right. Now it's guarded by Hogway, who nearly forces the ball to be fumbled. Let's go back over the right corner for Doles. Trying to push it inside. Push up for a layup. Had a chance, but couldn't get it. He almost got his own rebound, but Rodriguez steals it away. Now Rodriguez going in transition. They get it over to Stevenson Moore. To the right wing now it's Green. Trying to go inside to Hobway. Couldn't find a way inside. He'll have to go out instead. Stevenson Moore left wing. Tries another three. Couldn't hit the ball. Couldn't get the shot off of the top of the rim. And it's picked up by Doles. UAlbany back with possession. Jamel Horton right wing. This goes out to his right now for Kellen Taylor. Pushed it now inside to Kelly. Trying to push it in. He almost lost the ball. He did. And it's still in the way by Omar Hobway. He gets it over to Juan Felix Rodriguez. With 3 minutes gone by in the first half, we're all tied up at 2. Not much scoring. Both of these teams looking for some leeway in order to get probably what could be a 5 seed in the tournament. McKenzie with the ball right wing. Going out to the top for Green. He'll try a 3 and went too strong off the back iron. The rebound's picked up by Horton. Stony Brook having trouble with 3 still. Now you got Doles with it. He'll get it over to Taylor left wing. Out to Kelly left wing. He'll try the 3 and he connects. CJ Kelly from Long Island, transferred from Norfolk State, had a career-high 27 points against Vermont to start January, and UAlbany has a 5-2 lead. Now McKenzie in position. And Hobway tried to get a jumper inside the paint, but he just went too strong. And Horton able to draw contact against Hobway, and that brings up a foul against Stony Brook for the first time today. Stony Brook, as I said, the shooting has started to become a bit of a problem. You need a lot of other players in there as much as you can. And speaking of who you can get in there, Frankie Policelli coming in. Hasn't been a starter in a little while. Along with Policelli, Mo Diallo will check in for Stevenson Moore. 16:07 gone by in the first. It's still 5-2 UAlbany. Look to try to extend their lead. Kellen Taylor at the right wing. Goes out to his right for Kelly. Open for 3 and drills it. CJ Kelly finding wide open shots in the first few minutes. And it looks like at the 16-minute mark, Gino Ford wants to call a timeout. And he's right to do so. That's going to take us to a media timeout. But there are no media timeouts on our live stream, so we'll keep it here. And it's like I said, Stony Brook is having a lot of problems with their three-point shooting. Has yet to get a single shot down today. From deep, actually. And it's like I said, it's all about Frankie Policelli having to come in, and he immediately did, but it was not on offense. It is pretty hard to see what they're going to do after this timeout, but it's obvious that Gino Ford is going to want to go ahead and try up some more strategies if they can. They really need to think about the three-point shooting because nothing's going so far. You better figure that Brian Weber, Dan Ricard, and Randall Holt are trying to help Gino Ford keep his composure if this game eventually starts to go away. So like I said, Stony Brook's defense that has looked good when it matters the most, but over the last 2 weeks, it's been a bit of a problem. Stony Brook just can't afford to have anybody wide open to make shots. It's going to be very important for Stony Brook to try and keep a little perspective back. Of course, this is not complete home court advantage to the fullest because there are no fans at SEPQ Arena, especially this weekend. It's going to have to depend on a lot more guys that can do it. I haven't seen Mohamed Gee. I got a feeling that he might not be playing right now because he could also be in the injury spot. But Stony Brook has looked pretty good with Mo Gee at his leadership. So it'll be a question about why it's possible that Mo Gee has not been playing in the first 4 minutes for Stony Brook. So it looks like both teams are coming out of the timeout after the media timeout. And with just about 16 minutes left to go, It's UAlbany up 8-2. Stony Brook hasn't gotten a shot since their first shot came from, I believe it may have, hard to tell who was the last shot made by Stony Brook. It looks like it could have been Tyke Green that was responsible for that shot. So Stony Brook with possession out of the timeout to try and cut the deficit. Green will get the inbound as we have some more substitutions. Adam Luoka checking in for the Great Danes. Juan Felix Rodriguez looks set to get the inbound from Green as he waits to get the ball from the ref. Now Green will look to get the inbound over to Rodriguez. Almost got double teamed, gets out of it and finds Green. Green will be able to cross the timeline as he'll slow it down. Rodriguez goes over to Diallo. Diallo, faking over on the top of the perimeter, goes to Hobway right wing. Hobway going over to Rodriguez inside, getting a jumper. No, he'll go out to Green instead, left wing. He'll go out to Diallo. Trying to push it inside the paint. Trying to move it against Luoka. Jumper, got it. And Mo Diallo, putting up a little bit of a force, is able to get Stony Brook's first points since the start of the game. It's 8-4 UAlbany. Mo Diallo doesn't play much, but when he's in, it helps. CJ Kelly almost tried to push it inside. Ball was poked away, and it stays with UAlbany. Joel Horton with the ball. Antonio Rizzuto now left wing goes to Luoka. Back over to Horton left wing. Guarded well by Hobway. 7 seconds left to shoot. Goes back out to Kelly. Almost open for 3. He has to go out to number 2 for deep, and that is off the back iron. Trey Hutchinson could not connect on the 3. Stony Brook gets the ball back. Rodriguez right wing to the top for Policelli. He'll try a deep 3. Rattles in and out, and the rebound's picked up by Horton. That ball almost looked like it was going to go in. And Rizzuto, he'll try to respond on the 3. Could not. And Green picks up the rebound. Rizzuto and Policelli, the best 3-point shooters on their team. Almost had chances to go in, but it just couldn't get in there. Now Diallo on the paint draws the foul inside against Luoka. And that'll be Luoka's first. So Stony Brook needs to stay aggressive. You need as many players as you can to work inside. Rodriguez in the inbound to Diallo. Getting back to Rodriguez. Pushing inside for a layup in the paint. Got it. Rodriguez going quickly in transition. Going for the inbound. Getting the ball back from Diallo. And now the Seawolves have cut it to 2. They're only down 8-6. 14:30 left in the first half. And CJ Kelly on the right wing almost lost it. He gets it back. Goes over to his right for Taylor. Taylor pushing inside against Rodriguez. Almost got double teamed. And they got nearly the ball stripped away. But contact by Rodriguez brings up a foul. That's Stony Brook being aggressive, and that's what they want to do in order to stay in the game. They've been working good out of the timeout so far. They just need to make sure that it stays that way. Work hard everywhere that they can. CJ Kelly will get an inbound over to Taylor. Taylor back to Kelly as he sets up right wing. Policelli guarding him. Trying to split through. He cannot. He'll go out to the top for Chuck Champion. Back to Rizzuto, left wing. Trying to push inside against Rodriguez. His jumper was just short. Actually too strong. Diallo picks up the rebound. Now Stevenson Moore with the ball. Left wing, taking a 3. Bang! Stevenson Moore puts down the first deep shot for the Seawolves today, and he puts them back up 9-8, less than 14 minutes into the first half. Now Rizzuto getting the ball inside to Luoka, trying to fade around everybody. Back iron shot, no good. Long rebound picked up by Champion. He'll reset for UAlbany. Stevenson Moore with 5 points so far for the Seawolves, leading them the way. Kellen Taylor to Rizzuto. Rizzuto right wing against Stevenson Moore. Stevenson Moore just went a little too strong against Rizzuto, trying to draw contact. Instead, it's Stevenson Moore picking up the foul. Like I said, Stony Brook is staying aggressive out of that timeout called by Gino Ford when 2 straight shots from deep were made by the Great Danes. But this is what's been helping Stony Brook to stay hard. Kelly gets the inbound now to Champion. Champion with the ball right wing. Guarded well by Hobway. Goes to the top Luoka. Left wing now is Rizzuto. Going inside to Taylor. Guarded well by TSM. Trying to push inside against him. He gets in the paint. Goes in the contested jumper. Too strong off the back iron. And a long rebound picked up by Policelli. And Stony Brook will receive the ball back. Working pretty good on a 7-0 run. Split them up 9-8 with less than 13 minutes now in the first half. Hobway to McKenzie, right wing, looking to find somebody available, couldn't go inside. Now it's Stevenson Moore, right wing, goes back out to McKenzie. Left wing is Policelli. Taylor guarding him, going inside to Dial. Long jumper, taking a couple of bounces, and the ball goes out of bounds. And Policelli said that UAlbany was the last to touch it, but refs say he was the last to touch it. Goes back to the Great Danes. Both teams are getting a combined 7 shots so far. Stony Brook 4 of 11. CJ Kelly trying to get a float. It almost went in, pretty contested, but it couldn't stay inside. And Policelli goes for the rebound. As he gets to McKenzie, he'll cross the timeline. McKenzie will slow it down and move over to the top of the perimeter. Moving inside right wing, he'll have to go after Policelli. Policelli trying to push it in, well guarded by Kelly. McKenzie right wing, 8 left to shoot. Tried to go inside, he'll have to go out. Going over to Policelli left wing, tried to push it in, out to Hobway left corner, and the shot clock was winding down to 4, and they call a foul against the Great Danes. Actually, no, is it? Actually, yeah, it is. Couldn't tell, it looked like both teams were moving somewhere, but that's only because there's a whistle with less than 12 minutes. So, that brings us to our second media timeout. With 11:59 left to go in the first half, Stony Brook out of the last timeout on a 7-0 run, retains a 9-8 lead against the Great Danes, and that is what Gino Ford was looking at for his team out of that last timeout. Yeah, it's all about being able to change things up. Sometimes leads don't really matter too much in games like this, because these are mid-major teams that aren't really big powerhouses. Stony Brook and UAlbany, they used to be powerhouses about a decade ago. Will Brown used to give them something big to look at, but it seems like those days are behind him. And there's still no sign of Will Brown ever retiring from being a part of the UAlbany squad, despite all the success that he has had, making him look like he could have been with another great team. While for Stony Brook, they used to have Steve Bickel at his side, but he is currently with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. A Rutgers team that used to look pretty lackadaisical in Big Ten play, but ever since Bickel came in, he has given them a chance to revamp. Right now, Rutgers is in the tournament bubble and looking to try and score a few more wins in Big Ten play before the Big Ten tournament begins. If he's able to pick that up, he'll put Rutgers back in the NCAA tournament for the first time in about 20 years. He's always been able to change things for the better with teams that he has been a part of. Like Stony Brook, their start to Division I in 1999 didn't go well, but ever since Steve Bickel came in, giving Stony Brook their first America East regular season title in 2010, and Jameel Warning picking things up a few years later when he came along, it's been changing things around. Stony Brook and UAlbany, they're just right where they are. UAlbany was projected to finish 4th in the America East. Like I said, they are currently 5th place right now, but they're not going to be a top 4 seed. Neither is Stony Brook. So, both teams coming out of the timeout as Stony Brook will retain possession after the foul was called against the Great Danes right before our last media timeout. Stevenson Moore will be looking to receive the inbound from Policelli. It almost looked like that TSM was going to be doing the inbound himself. 9-8 Stony Brook, 11:59 left to go. Stony Brook with 3 fouls, UAlbany with 2. They're the ones with the possession arrow so far. Policelli will get the inbound to McKenzie and he'll set up. McKenzie guarded by Kelly. Will look to push inside, 15 on the shot clock. Out to Diallo. He'll go over to TSM left wing. TSM looking for somebody available. Had to go out to Policelli. Champion guarding him, 6 seconds. TSM left wing. Going inside the hard way. 3 seconds to go. Has to push it inside. Going on a jumper off the backboard and just too strong on the top of the rim. Rebounds picked up by UAlbany. Now Kellen Taylor with it. Going quickly inside to number 4 for UAlbany. Had the ball stripped away and picked up by the Seawolves. Jarvis Doles was the one with possession, but he couldn't complete. Now Frankie Policelli left wing. Going up for a long jumper. Rattles in. And Frankie Policelli with his first points of the game. It gives Stony Brook an 11-8 lead. This is what Stony Brook was looking for the most out of a very healthy Frankie Policelli. Now UAlbany back with possession of the ball. Kellen Taylor over to CJ Kelly left wing. Going inside to the left corner. He'll fire over to Dole's left corner 3. Got it. Jarvis Stoles with a really good look. He was not guarded in any way. He was only 2 of 9, and now that's his 3rd shot from deep this season. So TSM had a 3 before. He couldn't complete it, and Frankie Policelli picked up the offensive rebound. He went over to TSM trying to get a left wing 3, but he could not complete it, and the rebound's picked back up by UAlbany. Now with a chance for them to retake the lead. Stony Brook needs to stay close to their man, and it almost looked like a very quick inside look for CJ Kelly, no resistance, but Jordan McKenzie draws a foul. Can't tell whether or not that may have been the best chance opportunity for Stony Brook to prevent UAlbany from getting a lead that quickly. It was pretty much a big open lane for CJ Kelly. Of course, he would have been about to get double teamed by TSM and Policelli. But UAlbany sticks with the ball. They're still tied up at 11, 10-16 to go in the first half. Champion will get the inbound now to Jamil Horton. Horton with possession. Not much of a scoring yet today. They got Champion right wing, guarded well by Diallo. Couldn't push it inside, goes out to the top instead. He'll find Cameron Healy with it. Healy with a different look on his hair, it looks like. Now Champion trying to push it inside left lane against Diallo, trying to spin move around. He has to take a shot at the buzzer, and it's air ball, and that brings us to a shot clock violation. Stony Brook staying defensively well, even though McKenzie committed a foul in the last possession, and Stony Brook will get it back. That's how defense looks strong for Stony Brook. That's why this is still a very close game, even though there's not much shooting going on. Rodriguez, right wing, going over to Green. Green trying to find Leighton Elliott Sewell, left wing. Goes over to Diallo, top of the perimeter. Goes inside, good pass over to Rodriguez, layup is good. Inside the paint, what a great transition from Diallo to find Juan. And Stony Brook retakes the 13-11 lead, 9.5 to go in the first. Now Horton with possession, goes over to Champion. Diallo guarding him well, goes out to the right for Horton. Going over to Taylor, trying to push it inside against Sewell in the paint. Tried to spin move around him, could not. Almost lost possession, gets it out to Dole's right wing. Almost had a chance for a 3, but TSM guarding him well. Now he gets double teamed, has to take a jumper. Too strong, and picked up by Diallo. That's good looks from Stony Brook as they're starting to keep themselves well hot. Even though not much points. Diallo going on a quick 3. Bang! Mohamed Diallo, just his second 3-point shot of the season, and Stony Brook up to their largest lead of the game, 16-11, and Will Brown calls timeout. Perhaps there are unsung heroes for Stony Brook that could give them a push when looking to try and get their 3-point shooting back on the right track. And we've already seen some so far. It's come from TSM, and it's also come from Mo Diallo. And you wouldn't really expect much of Mo Diallo since he doesn't get too much playing time. He's only averaging 3 points per game, and already he is up to his season average today. Mo Diallo has 5 points so far, along with 2 rebounds. He's starting to work up quickly. He's a junior forward. He came from Northeastern Junior College. He's from Harlem, which is where former Seawolf and grad transfer Andrew Garcia grew up. Garcia, of course, with the Georgia Bulldogs. So UAlbany will have possession now of that timeout, trailing 16-11 with 8:52 to go in the first half. They only have 2 fouls so far. They've been doing well to stay away from foul trouble. Neither team has gotten any free throws yet. Horton with the ball. Almost had a chance to go in the paint. He'll take a jumper. It's too short. Ball goes up in the air and picked up by Diallo. Starting to do a lot of work for Stony Brook, getting a lot of good playing time, and it's helping. Diallo setting up top the perimeter, trying to push inside over to Sewell, and the paint almost had the ball stripped away, and he had a chance to go for the shot, but it was blocked well, and UAlbany gets back the ball. Cameron Healy almost could have been a chance for a foul. Juan Felix Rodriguez almost stripped the ball away from the Great Danes, but the ball goes to out of bounds. That's good pressure by Stony Brook. Even though they aren't able to get a shot before, keeping a little confidence on their side, and that's why they're leading right now. So CJ Kelly will look to go for the inbound. It looks like it's going to be for Rizzuto. CJ Kelly will go for the inbound to Horton instead. He'll go over to the top of the perimeter for Luolka. Diallo on the right wing. He'll push it out to his right for Horton. Horton setting up, 12 on the shot clock. Guarded well by Rodriguez, looking to push inside right lane. Going out to, couldn't tell who he was actually going to. Closest one would have been Rizzuto. No good pass. It goes out of bounds and back over to Stony Brook. Stony Brook causing confusion on the Great Danes, and that, like I said, that's why defense has been looking pretty good for Stony Brook. They average more points per game than they do allowed, but just barely. 67.1 points per game, and they've allowed 66.8. That's like a 0.3 point differential. You can tell that Stony Brook has been losing a few games lately, but that's why Stony Brook is still working. Juan Felix Rodriguez with Rodriguez. And on the whistle, Pierre-Philippe lost possession of the ball. He kept it in his hands along with a Great Dane, and it's going to be a jump ball. It'll go back to UAlbany. We're under 8 minutes. It sends us to another media timeout. So with 7:39 left to go, Stony Brook still working on a good run so far after they were down 8-2. They have been on a 14-3 run so far, and that has put them up 16-11. So this is what, so I guess you say, Stony Brook, I don't know whether or not there's any improvement shooting, but what we see is the defense starting to step up. This is what Stony Brook needs the most. And like I said, who would have expected Mohamed Diallo to step up by making a little three of his own? I mean, that was just his second shot from deep this season. He hasn't gotten much playing time so far, according to Gino Ford, but this has really helped Stony Brook. I mean, seems like Mulkey hasn't played good, so it seems like he did suffer an injury last weekend against Fermin, but even without him, the team has still been fighting hard against the likes of Antonio Rizzuto and Cameron Healy. And I think going forward, that's why Stony Brook could still have a chance to make a little noise once it comes to tournament time. Yeah, you really want Mohamed Ugi to be on the court because, like I said, this is really big that he's not playing this weekend. Well, who knows what will happen if Stony Brook manages to sweep the Great Danes without him or get at least one win. But it's like I said, both of these teams could have a big potential to get a sweep against each other. But if they split the series, then that could be a different story. Because right now, UMass Lowell is 7-9. And it looks like if it's swept, then it's possible that the Riverhawks could be the 5 seed going into the tournament. I mean, the one, and like I said before, the one who sweeps this series between the Seawolves and the Great Danes is the one that's going to be the 5 seed. We already matched up what it looks like. For the 3 seeds, it's all different players, and it looks like I'm looking at Steph Q Arena right now, and Jane Sales and Mo Gee don't look like they're suited up. Almost forgot especially about Jane Sales. I don't know whether or not Gino Ford is doing this because he knows about what's going on. He's just deciding to give other people a chance before the tournament begins, but there's still a chance that you can get a 5 seed. But I guess this would help Stony Brook because if there were any lingering issues with injury for both Sales and Gee, you don't want to cause any more risk because they're going to be very valuable when the tournament comes. You're going to need strong players like them to boost your team because Jane Sales has a good postmark inside the paint when it matters the most, and Mo Gee is a very excellent blocker since he does lead the conference in blocks per game. There's nobody that's pretty close to him, and I'm not really sure who. So you can't get too worried about this weekend. I mean, if you want to be worried about Stony Brook trying to get a 5 seed at the very least, you can go ahead and do so. But eventually you want to work it out. Eventually, you just want to play it safe and do what you can in order to make sure that you have the right formula to put up to get your little run going. You're still like I said, there's still confidence for this team. And it looks like the refs were talking to both Ford and Brown. As Ford goes back to the huddle with Stony Brook. UAlbany with possession of the ball after they got a jump ball off of the Great Danes right before this media timeout. So Mo, how do you think Stony Brook has been working well with their 14-3 run so far? So both teams will come out of the timeout. It's actually going to be Stony Brook ball. I guess it was UAlbany that did win the first possession of the game, so that means the jump ball belongs to Stony Brook. So Rodriguez will fire it out to Pierre-Philippe, who will push it inside the paint, going hit hard, and ball goes out of bounds. No foul was called. That's a really questionable call. I'm not sure. I mean, like, he may have been hit, and I'm not sure why there hasn't been any fouls called yet. No shooting fouls at all. Showing a little replay once again, and oh my god, I think that left hand may have hit Pierre-Philippe's head. But UAlbany gets possession back. A really questionable call if you ask me. So UAlbany back with it. Calantella with the ball right wing, goes inside to Rizzuto, couldn't get a shot, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Stony Brook. It stays with UAlbany. Well, Rizzuto had a good opportunity, but Policelli working with great defense. It's like the refs are really letting them play when it comes to making shot attempts. No fouls that have led to free throw opportunities on either side yet. And we're only 7:20 left to go in the game. In the first half, actually. So this is really interesting on the refs' part about how they're looking to try and calling the game. We got another substitution. Hobway checks out, brings back Mo Diallo with 5 points so far for the Seawolves. Kelly with the inbound gets inside to Luoka. Had the ball stripped away, but he picks it back up. Now Kellen Taylor with possession right wing. Goes to his right for Kelly. Kelly, guarded by Diallo. Ball picked away by Diallo on a tip. And it's picked up by Policelli. Now get it out to Policelli. Deep three. Too strong up the back iron. It's picked up by Kelly. You like to see Policelli take those deep shots, and better if he converts. Now Luoka with it in the right lane, tipped away by Rodriguez. He stays with it. And ball stripped away by Rodriguez again. This time he completes the steal, and Rodriguez will get it across the timeline. Stony Brook retains possession. Green now has it right wing against Rizzuto, and now it's Kelly guarding him. Goes to Policelli left wing, guarded well after his right for Diallo. Left wing is Green. Green. Looking for somebody available against Champion. Goes out to his left for Policelli. Going inside to Diallo. Ball falling down. And we have a foul called, and it's against the Great Danes. With 10 on the shot clock. Like I said, it's really been a lot of defensive work. Neither team's getting the shots down. It's also got turnovers happening. Stony Brook only has 1 so far. UAlbany has 4. Actually 5, pretty much. We get another substitution. CJ Kelly checks out, and Jamel Horton checks in. 6:28 left to go in the first half. Stony Brook in a low-scoring game, up 16-11. Diallo with possession. He may try to push it in against Doles. Gets out Policelli right wing with 15 on the shot clock. Rodriguez left wing. Steps away. Goes up for a deep three. Bang! Rodriguez shoots one deep. His first 3 of the day. And now it's a 19-11 lead for Stony Brook as Rodriguez, 3 of 4 shooting, has 7 points. Albany with possession. Horton pushing inside the paint. Goes up for a fadeaway jumper. Misses, and Green picks up the rebound. Stony Brook is really staying hot. It's a 17-3 run right now for the Seawolves. McKenzie pushing inside the paint. Goes up for the floater. Takes bounces. Almost went in, but Champion picks up the rebounds and falls out. McKenzie had a great look, but he may have gotten a little too strong. Champion will get the ball right wing for UAlbany. Goes out to his right for Doles. Doles against Green. Battle between fours. Trying to push it inside. Jumper is just short, but a foul's called against Green. And that is the first shooting foul in this contest, and that will send UAlbany to the free throw line for the first time today. So after almost 14 minutes of action with no shooting fouls, the first one finally happens. Jarvis Stoll's to the free throw line. His first shot's good. Jarvis Stoll's one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, averaging at 88%. We got substitutions. Leighton Elliott Sewell, Stevenson Moore checks back into the game. Brings out Diallo and McKenzie. Stoll's now getting set for his second free throw. UAlbany is in the bonus now, and as Stony Brook has 6 fouls. UAlbany with only 3. Second free throw from Doles. Misses off the right rim. And I think that may have not even hit the rim at all. So that's a violation probably on Doles, so Stony Brook will get it back. He only goes 1 of 2. Like I said, Doles is an 88% free throw shooter. So for a free throw shot like that to go far right is very unexpected. 19-12 Stony Brook, 5-16 in the first half. Rodriguez now at the top of the perimeter, pushing inside, almost got double teamed, fires out to the left wing for Green, trying up for a 3, bang! And Stony Brook really likes playing threes today, and is starting to ramp up and get themselves back into the groove they want as a three-point shooting team. 22-12 Stony Brook, they lead at 10. I'm telling you, it's opposite about what we've seen out of Stony Brook's three-point shooting in the most recent weeks, and the 3 by the Great Danes could not be completed. And Stevenson Moore picks up a rebound. It goes to the left wing for Policelli. Rodriguez right wing for Green. Stevenson Moore going inside to Policelli right lane, taking a long jumper, too short just off the right rim. Rizzuto picks up the rebound. And the Green Danes back with possession. Horton driving inside. Shot blocked, picked up by Green, over to Stevenson Moore. He'll go for a quick fast break. He'll have to go back out the left wing is Rodriguez. He sets up, goes over to Elliott Sewell inside the paint, and they say he traveled. Yeah. Elliott Sewell had a great look inside going for a good shot, but refs say he just took too many extra steps, and that would have been another opportunity for Stony Brook to extend their lead. It's really tough right there. They're up 22-12, and where you are in the game, and what it looks like in the game right now is pretty much good as long as you're able to maintain it. Stony Brook's been down this road before. This is probably at least the 3rd time this season where they've had a double-digit lead late in the first half, but they could not hold on to it against Hartford and New Hampshire when they hosted both of them. So UAlbany back with it. Rizzuto had the ball poked away. He has to go out to the right corner. He'll go out to the top for Champion. Champion look to push inside left lane against Rodriguez. Out to the right wing is Rizzuto taking a deep shot. Goes too strong, and Green picks up the rebound. Stony Brook playing great defense today, only limiting UAlbany to just 12 points in game 1. Rodriguez right wing 3, just off the mark, and Elliott Sewell tried to pick up the long rebound, and he draws a loose ball foul. Elliott Sewell being relentless against multiple Great Danes. And that's going to send us to another media timeout. With 3:33 left to go in the first half, Stony Brook is still in prime command. 20-4 run now, ever since they were down 8-2 at Gino Ford's first time out of this game. They lead at 22-12. Stony Brook is now getting better with the three-point shooting over the last few minutes. And I think Gino Ford is really going to love that when his teammates see that on the highlight reel after this game. What do you think? Do you think that this is really something that they're going to look on as a great improvement when they go from beyond the arc? Yeah, I mean, like, this is really pretty amazing to watch because Stony Brook has really gotten better with a hot hand with the shooting. I mean, I know they only have 22 points so far, and, like, at this point in the first half, I mean, you may as well kind of expect it, something like that, but still, this is shown to be pretty important. Stony Brook, as we keep saying, last in the conference in three-point shooting, but they've been setting themselves up on a better stride so far in the last few minutes. Players like Green, Rodriguez, Diallo. I mean, Policelli hasn't gotten the three-point shot yet, but everybody else has been able to step it up for him. Policelli is right now the leading three-point shooter at 34%, and he does lead the team at 84% free throw shooting. Stony Brook still has yet to go to the free throw line today. So what do you think that tells you about Stony Brook when they haven't been able to, like, draw any shooting fouls yet? Yeah, so the shooting fouls, when you see that you don't really get like any drawn that much, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not looking good as far as being able to put down what you want as far as getting the free throw shooting. That means you're not really getting that many fouls down. So it looks like they're about ready to come out of the timeout again. Stony Brook with possession after Leighton Elliott-Sewell draw the loose ball foul. There are no benches or anything set up right now at SEFQ Arena. Well, that's because there aren't any fans that are still allowed at any of the basketball arenas in the America East, apparently, and that may not be that way for the playoffs either, which could be unfortunate. Just sets up fans to be pretty excited for coming back next season. But of course, as we know, this season is still the prime focus because what Stony Brook is up to right now, as far as their 10-point lead with possession, shows you a lot about how they want to try and get out of that 4-game losing streak. And Green with the ball almost drew a foul, but he's called for traveling. He tried to get a little Euro step down, but he may have taken a few many extra steps. And that's the third turnover on the Seawolves in the first half. So that also says something about Stony Brook's improvement. Not committing too many turnovers so far. It's helped him. Champion now top the perimeter. Go to his left for Healy. Going inside to the left for Taylor. Against Rodriguez. Trying to push inside. Almost lost the ball. Picked it back up. Now you get Champion with the right wing. Almost traveled. Pushing inside the paint. Tried to go for a layup. He'll go over to Taylor. Shot made and one. Kellen Taylor is able to break a little scoring drought for the Great Danes. They haven't gotten any shots legitimately since tying the game up at 11 a long time ago. Stops the little problem that they've had. Now Kellen Taylor will go to the free throw line to complete a 3-point play. He connected on the free throw to complete the 3-point play, and a little full court press by the Great Danes, but TSM able to cross the timeline and be able to break away from it. Now Diallo with possession. Out to right wing Policelli. Almost thought about a 3. Now he'll set up for one, and missed is too strong, and the long rebound is picked up by Rodriguez. And Stony Brook will reset the shot clock. It's now at 10. Actually, I think the refs are going to say that it may have not been set properly. Once you get an offensive rebound, that means that the shot clock is reset to 20. So it's not going to be exactly at 20 because a few seconds did go down. Actually, it is at 12 still. May have been right. May have been 8 seconds actually, but couldn't tell whether or not Rodriguez may have had only a few seconds on that shot clock. Stony Brook still with possession, leading 22-15. Less than 3 minutes to go in the game, in the first half. McKenzie in the paint. Trying to push it inside against Healy. He'll have to take a floater, and he drills it in. And Jordan McKenzie, with his first points of the game, is able to make it a 9-point lead for Stony Brook. And McKenzie had some opportunities a little while ago to drive it inside, just couldn't get there, and now he finally does. Now Healy with possession for UAlbany. It's back to Champion right wing. Guarded well by McKenzie. He'll go inside to Taylor. Actually, that was Doles. Had the ball knocked away by Policelli, and it goes out of bounds. Stony Brook still working on a defensive front, only allowing 15 points in the first 17.5 to UAlbany. Stony Brook with 24 so far of their own, looking to try and get a little better offensively, because that's also been a problem. Now Taylor right lane goes out to Rizzuto for a deep 3, went airballed, and easily picked up by Tyke Green. Now Stony Brook takes it back, approaching the 2-minute mark. Rodriguez telling everybody to bring it in. He'll move out to the right wing, guarded well by Rizzuto. Out he goes to McKenzie. He'll set up right near the UAlbany logo. Against Healy. Trying to get a little pressure on McKenzie. He'll back out. McKenzie shifts over to the left wing. Trying to push it inside to Rodriguez in a bad transition. It would have been a shot at Rodriguez head. And Champion going fast break the other way. Layup picks it up. Chuck Champion working quickly, capitalizing on Stony Brook's mistake. And he makes it 24-17 with less than 2 minutes to go. Champion on his first points of the game. His first shot attempt as well. Now Tyke Green right wing. Going on a quick three. Went too strong off the back iron and picked up by Rizzuto. Albany back with possession again. Champion left wing, guarded well by Green. He sets it up near the top. Now to his left for Healy. Inside he goes to Taylor. Taylor against Green. Green maybe a little too late. Couldn't get a shot down, but he draws a foul. Albany looking to start getting a little momentum here. They're down as much as 10. Now it's only a 7-point game still. But I think Green went a little too late to react to Kellen Taylor's push inside the paint. Taylor going back to the free throw line. He hit one before on a 3-point play. He's just 46% shooting, which is pretty off. Taylor on the first free throw. Misses. So it looks like Elliott Sill will be checking in along with Jamel Horton for UAlbany. Elliott Sill for the Seawolves, of course. Stony Brook already up to 8 fouls. UAlbany has committed 4 so far. Stony Brook still has not been able to draw up any shooting fouls. Stony Brook does have some free throw problems every now and then. Second free throw, it's in. So he goes 1 of 2, and UAlbany has cut the deficit to 6 with 1:22 to go in the first half. UAlbany is 3 of 5 from the free throw line so far in the first half, and as I said, Stony Brook has not because they have not gotten there yet. Rodriguez now with possession of the ball. He'll look to push inside left elbow, going up for a long floater. Rodriguez couldn't get the rebound, but Rodriguez drawing foul. And that's against Rizzuto. It looked like UAlbany was just about to start keeping a little run going, but it may be halted for the time being. That's the 5th team foul on UAlbany in the first half. So it wasn't in the act of shooting. Stony Brook will retain possession, resetting the shot clock to 20. And substitution as Cameron Healy checks back in for Antonio Rizzuto. 1:05 to go in the first. Juan Felix Rodriguez with possession gets it to Green inside. Near the right lane along the baseline. Look to try pushing it in. Getting double team. Goes to layup. Misses. He had a good look inside, but he was well guarded. And that could not allow the shot to be good. The ball almost knocked away by Policelli, but he got contact against Kellen Taylor, and now send him back to the free throw line. And Stony Brook hasn't really seen too many shots in a little while, and Stony Brook needs to get better with that. I think Policelli was trying to get a quick steal passed down by Taylor, but he drew too much contact. So Taylor going back to the free throw line was 1 of 2. First free throw, hits it on the 1-and-1. Like I said, Taylor is not a good free throw shooter most often, but that may only be because he doesn't have too many opportunities to shoot it from the charity stripe. The second free throw from Taylor is good. Looks like he's improving. And now Stony Brook's lead has been cut to 4. They're up by 10, and now it's a 4-point game. Just like I said, Stony Brook usually has problems when it comes to good leads late in the first half, but they can't always maintain it. As Rodriguez pushes out to Policelli, too much of a push, going out of bounds back over to UAlbany. Rodriguez may have gotten a little too careless, trying to put a little momentum back on their side, but it looks like momentum is starting to go towards UAlbany. And both teams with 5 turnovers now, UAlbany with a chance to cut it to a 1-score game. 46 seconds now on the clock. Now Jamel Horton with the... Now Dole's trying to get the ball over to Taylor. Another foul drawn up by Taylor again. He missed another shot opportunity. Stony Brook just getting too careless. They have not been able to draw up any shooting fouls, and UAlbany's been doing better with that. Rodriguez tried to go for a little steal when trying to jump up against Taylor, but This is not what Stony Brook wants. Like I said, Stony Brook was up by 10, but now it's about to become a one-score game if Taylor hits both. Taylor on the first free throw. Too strong off the back iron. Goes out. A little relief for Stony Brook. 29.8 left on the shot clock. So Stony Brook with a chance to milk out the rest of the first half and probably guarantee their lead. But this is what they meant. But this wasn't really what they were looking at when they were up by 10. They would have expected it to probably stay around this. UAlbany is still in this game because Stony Brook has still had problems with shooting. Like I said, likes of Jaden Sales and Mo Gee being out may cause some differences. I guess Alex Christie had to come in because Sales couldn't, being that tall forward. It's probably a must in the starting lineup. Second free throw from Kelly. Rattles in. He goes 1 of 2 again. And now it's 24-21 Stony Brook. Now McKenzie with possession on the inbound from Rodriguez gets it back to Rodriguez as he crosses the timeline with 23 seconds in the first half. So he'll set it up now, milking the shot clock. Stevenson, Moore, McKenzie, Green, Policelli, and Rodriguez all on the court. We're down to 10 seconds. Rodriguez look to make a move, trying to zip around. Out to McKenzie left wing. Fake the three, and we have a foul called away from the ball. And it's against UAlbany, and that's their 6th foul with 7 seconds left. I think that may have been intentional to try and milk a little time, but that was their last foul to give in the first half. Because if one more foul from UAlbany before the end of the first half would lead to a shooting foul for Stony Brook, a 1-and-1. So Hobway checks in. He'll inbound it to Rodriguez. 6 seconds now. Rodriguez trying to move it around. Out to Policelli. Wide open right wing. Takes a three. Bang! And how about that to end the first half? Frankie Policelli getting his first shot from deep. It's 27-20 Stony Brook at halftime. Policelli putting back that southpaw stroke. Starting to look a little healthy now. And that is what you want if you're Stony Brook. It's 27-21 actually. But like I said, Stony Brook hasn't gotten any shooting in the last few minutes. But Policelli keeping momentum on Stony Brook's side by nailing that three to end the first half. How about that? Yeah, this is exactly what Stony Brook wanted. As I said, momentum was starting to go towards UAlbany's side, but now Stony Brook has managed to keep it on their side for the time being, as they now keep themselves with a nice lead. I guess you could say they lead it by 6. Could have been 3 if Policelli didn't hit that 3, but this is what you want from a healthy Frankie Policelli, as I keep saying. The shots that he is able to make makes him look good, and mind you, he is just a redshirt sophomore. So, that'll bring us to halftime, and we will get back to you guys in a little while as the Stony Brook Seawolves lead the UAlbany Great Danes SFQ Arena 27-21. This is Zach Wilson and Mamadou Cisse giving you Stony Brook men's basketball action live stream on YouTube for WSB Sports. Welcome back to the second half here on the live stream on YouTube of Stony Brook men's basketball action. This is Zach Wilson along with Momadou Cisse. I'm sure that many of you may have had a little problem hearing it before, but I worked out issues, so make sure you're heard now, Momo.
Well, this has actually been a great half of basketball, even though it's low scoring, but we have seen a lot of improvement by Stony Brook. Even though they shot in 31.3% in a three-point, they have been able to hit a lot of three-point shots, hitting like 5 3-points first half. And we'll look to see what happens with Stony Brook do in the second half against Albany.
Yeah, they are right now just about 31% shooting from deep, which is kind of a little better than what their season average is looking like right now. And this is probably around where they should probably be. Frankie Policelli hitting that big three right before the end of the first half to put Stony Brook up 27-21. Says a lot about how he is trying to play. He has been looking pretty sharp so far. He has at least 5 points so far. Both teams committed 5 turnovers. And we just saw before, and we noticed that Jane Sales and Mo Gee aren't playing today, and that's because Mo Gee does have an illness, and Jane Sales is inactive with a back injury. So it wasn't because of a coach's decision by Gino Fornes, because they had lingering problems of their own. And if you're a Stony Brook fan, you gotta hope that this doesn't carry over to next weekend, because it's going to be very big. The seeding in the America East is still somewhat shaped up between seeds 5 through 9. The top 4 seeds are already confirmed. UMBC is the top seed, Vermont's the 2nd seed, New Hampshire's the 3rd seed, followed by the 4th seed Hartford Hawks. UAlbany is right now ranked 5th in the conference standings, but if Stony Brook sweeps them, then Stony Brook will be the ones with the 5 seed. Well, you got Binghamton and NJIT right there. Right now, Binghamton leads NJIT 40-30 at halftime. Stony Brook swept Binghamton to begin the America East Conference just about 2 months ago. And ever since then, Binghamton has tried to rebound, but this is a little bit shocking because I would have expected NJIT to have a pretty good win against Binghamton, but right now the Bearcats are still making a case about why they're trying to work on some way that they may be a very big dark horse.
And yes, Zach, like how you said, Stony Brook needs to sweep Albany this weekend in order for them to get a 5th seed in the playoffs. You know, playoff time is really important because if you're Stony Brook, you really will want the home seed going into the playoffs this season.
Yeah, there'd still be a small chance because at this rate, the only chance that you may have at being able to get a top seed if you're a 5th seed is when it would come to the championship game. Because if by some chance that if you're the 5th seed and there's still a lower seed behind you that makes it to the semifinals as well, that makes an upset and you're the highest seed remaining in the championship, that means you go back to IFC Arena. But knowing Vermont and UMBC, that may not be possible. But on the women's side, Maine just wrapped up their game in women's basketball. Already the regular season champions, they won by 29 against New Hampshire. That's exactly the type of win that Maine wanted after they only split the series against the Wildcats back in early January in a series that looked like Maine should have swept easily, but was not easy. Apparently wasn't easy for them. New Hampshire has been surprising a little bit this season, but they do have a losing conference record. Stony Brook and Maine are the top 2 seeds. After their final regular season games, they will not play again until the semifinals on March 7th, which is a Sunday. And that's big for both of them as they look to use that semifinal home game to try and get themselves into the America East Championship game. So back on the men's side, we are resuming action in the second half. UAlbany with possession, trailing 27-21. So now here comes possession of the ball for UAlbany. It's Jamel Horton with it. UAlbany has had a lead in this game. They were up by as much as 6, and Stony Brook was up by as much as 10. On the inside now is Taylor. Lost the ball in transition. It's picked up by Rodriguez. Now Rodriguez will slow it down as he gets across the timeline. Out to the top now for McKenzie. Right wing is Stevenson Moore. Tried to go inside, well guarded by C.J. Kelly. He'll give it back to Green, right corner. Against Taylor. Sifts around, 15 to shoot. At the right wing, Green looking to push it inside. Trying a little spin move. Goes up for a layup. Went too strong and rebounds picked up by Doles. Green had a good look, just went a little too strong. As Rizzuto goes quickly. Shot blocked big time by Green. And it goes out of bounds. Savagery at its finest. I think that may have actually been Tyler Stevenson Moore. UAlbany with possession, but that's still the epitome Stevenson Moore used both of his hands on Rizzuto, and I think Rizzuto really wanted to foul because there may have been contact.
And this is what Stony Brook is really good at this season because right now they are the best in conference for blocks, averaging 5 blocks per game. And that block shows what Stony Brook is really about on the defensive side of the basketball.
Now Kelly on the inbound out to Doles. Doles at the right elbow goes to his right for Rizzuto. Rizzuto nobody available, to his left for Horton. 17 on the shot clock. He'll go out to the left wing for Kelly. Pushing inside against Stevenson Moore. Nearly had the ball stripped away. Couldn't get a layup inside. And loose ball foul called against Stony Brook. They were about to get the ball back, but unfortunately, there may have been a little contact or something like that. It almost looked like Stony Brook had a great box, but they got their first team foul the second half, 1 minute into the second half. Still looking to get their first possession of the second half, too.
As you see right now, Stony Brook is playing really aggressive defensively as they won't allow Albany to attack inside, and if they got a foul, they're going to foul. So
Rizzuto got the layup inside, and he's able to cut the deficit to 4 now. Almost had good defensive looks from Stony Brook, but you just got to limit the fouls. That's what's keeping them the lead. Rodriguez with the ball now. Move over to the right wing. Tried to push it inside. He'll go out to Diallo, top the perimeter. Sets up to the left for Green. Now the left wing is McKenzie. Inside to Diallo. Almost had a good chance inside, but he couldn't get there. Doles against him. Will push inside. Right, a spin move. Layup. Ground. Out. That was a dead to rights going inside, but it refused to go in. And UAlbany retains possession. Kellen Taylor out to Rizzuto left wing. Almost lost the ball. Had to go out to Kelly. Pushing it inside against to Kareem. Goes back to Rizzuto left wing. Pushing inside now. Goes over to Doles. Open wide shot. Got it. And UAlbany has trimmed the deficit to 2. Getting the first 4 points of the second half. Stony Brook has a lot of good looks so far in the second half too, but they haven't been able to connect well. And Diallo had a bad pass, and it goes off back to UAlbany now with a chance to take the lead, and C.J. Kelly lost possession and is stolen away by Green. An exchange of turnovers over the last few seconds. Really nutty, both of these teams are. McKenzie right wing, looking to go inside to Diallo. Diallo pushing in against Doles, almost got double teamed, had to go for a floater, can't make it, just short. The rebound's picked up by the Great Danes. Now it's over to Rizzuto, right wing, taking a 3, rolling around no good, and it's picked up by Diallo. Very close Rizzuto was to putting UAlbany back up in front, but it remains Stony Brook's possession. 3 minutes into the second half, 17-13 to go, Stony Brook's up 27-25. Green right wing.
Rizzuto has been struggling from 3-point this game, as he has not hit a single 3-point this game so far. And Rizzuto is the league's 3rd best 3-point shooter, shooting 39.5% from the 3-point line. And right now, he's not getting anything to go against Stony Brook.
And Green missed a 3 on the quick transition. It was Kellen Taylor almost had a layup. Shot was well blocked by Stevenson Moore, but that's a foul. And now Taylor going back to the free throw line again has multiple appearances at the charity stripe in this game. He'll look to try and do as much as tie the game up. Stony Brook with no points yet. The offense has still looked pretty bleak, and they need to get themselves back on track.
As you see right now, Albany playing really great on the defensive side and going on potentially a 6-0 run, and he hits these 2 free throws right now.
Taylor misses the first free throw. It's not completely a big free throw shooter. It's like I said, he is just about over 46% from the charity stripe. Second free throw. Actually, I wonder what the shot was all about before. I thought it looked like he already went for his first, but there may have been a late violation called against Stony Brook, probably. So Taylor does hit his first free throw. Very odd call. Suppose all calls are being made so far. Taylor on the second free throw, it goes up and it goes in. So he does connect on both, and the game's now all tied up at 27. Stony Brook had momentum on their side when Policelli hit a 3 to end the first half, but ever since then, it's a 6-0 run by Stony Brook. Pierre-Philippe with the ball to the right wing for Hobway. He'll go to his left for Rodriguez, to his left for Green. Green may push inside, he'll go out to Pierre-Philippe instead, he'll go back out. Pierre-Philippe rolling around the top of the key, going out to Policelli left wing. He'll push it inside, out to Green, couldn't get the pass complete, does get it actually, inside the paint, draws up a layup, and got it. Green may have been a little undersized inside the paint, but it doesn't matter for him. He gets the first Stony Brook's first points of the second half, and they lead 29-27. And the ball tried to get a pass to Kelly, stripped away by Green. And Rodriguez picks it up in transition. Now Policelli left wing. Look at the push inside. He draws a foul. And that one going against Kellen Taylor. And it looked like things were starting to go UAlbany's way, but for the moment, they stay with Stony Brook.
And as you see on the defensive side, they're making sure Antonio Rizzuto don't get to the baseline because he's really good at hitting those baseline shots. So they're making sure he don't get to the baseline and doubling when he's going into the paint to force Rizzuto to pass the ball. And it's been working so far because Rizzuto has been looking cold this game.
And Policelli going inside the paint gets a layup. And Policelli may have wanted contact on the play, but he still gets a good shot. And Stony Brook now up 31-27. They're getting a little bit of a run themselves and a little bit of response from UAlbany 6-0. Now Antonio Rizzuto with the ball almost lost the ball right wing. He'll go out to Taylor. Taylor pushing inside. Oh, loses the ball stripped. They call it a jump ball. And Stony Brook in the possession now favors Stony Brook, bringing us to immediate timeout. So with 15:43 to go in the second half, UAlbany was on a 6-0 run to tie the game up, but ever since then, Policelli and Green getting layups of their own to keep Stony Brook leading against the Great Danes. So that little run that Stony Brook's able to put up right there looked like UAlbany had a good chance for some responses, but Stony Brook is not giving it to them that easily yet. That's all about giving the responses. How do you see them being able to keep well in the contention with teams that try and bring themselves back up against them?
Again, Stony Brook, they're playing very good interior and defensive side. They're making sure they contest these easy looks, so making sure Rizzuto and Kelly don't get these open shots. And also, for some reason, like I said, in the interior, they're making sure they don't get into the interior and making sure they don't attack the basket.
Stony Brook has been getting some pretty good interior looks most recently for a little while, and that has helped them stay tough with their defense. Stony Brook is also trying to do the same thing, trying to expose the UAlbany's interior defense. You don't see too much of Stony Brook trying to mark it out with that, but it would pretty much help them from time to time. You see players like Mo Gee and Jane Sales that have seen a lot more better opportunities when they try and work on plays like that.
And as you see, Stony Brook have a very great game plan against Albany. We know that Albany is last in conference in blocks per game, and knowing that they don't really have a good interior defense, Stony Brook is attacking the inside against Albany because Albany has not had an answer for that all season.
Stony Brook has looked pretty interesting, I guess you could say, in the last two times they played at CEFQ Arena. They've won the last two games at UAlbany because of clutch threes made by a former Seawolf in Miles Latimer. But of course, he is no longer with the team as he is now with the Bucknell Bison on the Patriot League side. So if it had to come down to some other Seawolf having to make a three, I can only imagine some people. Could be Rodriguez, could be Policelli. But let's see if Stony Brook is able to do enough of a win today, and maybe even tomorrow if they can sweep the Great Danes to try and make it so you don't have to rely on anybody to try and get a clutch three. So both teams are just about ready to finish their timeout. Stony Brook being able to get a little 4-0 run, getting the possession back after UAlbany had a 6-0 run to start the game. Stony Brook still up 31-27, less than 16 to go in the game. It's still a good contested game between both sides where defense is still being shown. Stony Brook wants to improve their offense a lot. This wasn't really the type of season they imagined. Of course, with Gino Ford, a lot of off-season moves surprised him, and he had to fill in the holes as best as he could. So Pierre-Philippe getting the inbound to Green as he crosses the timeline, sets it up to Rodriguez left wing, well guarded by Rizzuto. The right wing now is Hobway. Hobway, stepping around, goes over to Pierre-Philippe. Back to Rodriguez right wing. To the top he goes to Policelli, 12 left to shoot. Green, trying to push it inside near the left elbow. He had to go out to the left wing for Hobway. He'll look to push it inside, almost got contact, no foul. Rodriguez, top perimeter three, bang! Rodriguez! Really playing fast and loose with his three-point shots. And now Stony Brook retakes a 7-point lead. And he's now up to 10 points. But a little shoulder hurting for Omar Hobway. I did see him get contacted just a little while ago. And that is not pretty good for him. I mean, he was able to get the pass off to Rodriguez as his shoulder was hurting. You gotta put up a brave heart right there. You gotta expect that. But You don't. But Omar Hobway, he's going to be removed from the game, and it could be possible he's out for the rest of it.
And again, prior to the injury, that was just great ball movement by Stony Brook. Noticing that the defense is staying loose in the interior, so moving the ball around and finding the wide open 3-point shot for Rodriguez to hit from the wing.
So UAlbany back with possession. They now trail 7. Trying to get a pass inside. Ball stripped away, and it's picked up by Pierre-Philippe. Another turnover forced by Stony Brook. Policelli left wing, pushing inside. Out to Lily Sewell. Open and a dunk in the paint. Nobody against Elliott Sewell. Exposing UAlbany's defense, going quick transition. Stony Brook does, and they now have a 36-27 lead. Rizzuto now has the ball. Right elbow, he goes over to Horton, left wing. He sets it up now against Policelli, trying to push it inside. Out to Doles, open left elbow jumper, misses. Long rebound picked up by Taylor, and the foul is waved off. I don't think this is a shooting foul this time for Taylor. He's had so many trips to the free throw line in this game. That's probably why he may be the leading scorer. But Jarvis Doles had a wide open shot on the left elbow. Nobody was guarding him at all. And anything, I don't know whether or not Kellen Taylor was pissed off about something. But now he has the ball right elbow against Green. Maybe push it inside. No, go out to Rizzuto. Pushing it around the baseline. And he stepped out of bounds trying to get the pass over to Jamel Horton. It's another turnover on UAlbany. Back over to Stony Brook it goes.
Stony Brook forcing a lot of turnovers so far in the second half and making sure that Albany is being very stressful on the offensive side, making sure they don't get any easy looks once again, and making sure they are on them aggressively.
So now Rodriguez with possession as he gets it across the timeline. Moves over to the left wing, over to Sewell. Sewell trying to push inside, and a Great Dane fell down, and it's a blocking foul. It's on UAlbany. Almost could have looked like from the ref's point of view that could have been an offensive foul. But his feet were. But the Great Dane, for the one, it was CJ Kelly who tried to draw contact. He was well inside the restricted zone, so that is a blocking foul. So the inbound to Policelli, Stony Brook resets the shot clock to 20. Pierre-Philippe right wing to the right corner for Elliott Sewell. Trying to go out to Policelli, he will, near the sideline. Now Rodriguez to Pierre-Philippe, 7 left to shoot. Trying to move it inside, trying to spin, move it around. Gets over the green, push for a layup. After a Pablo bounces off the back iron and it goes in. And Stony Brook retakes a double-digit lead. It's their largest lead of the game. They're up 38-27. And Jamel Horton goes right near the UAlbany bench, and it's timeout called. Stony Brook going furious.
And once again, you're seeing Stony Brook move the ball offensively, making sure they attack the interior. Because once again, Albany is last in the league in blocks this season in the American East Conference. So attacking the interior, and that was a good job by Green, finding the wide open pass to Swell to make it 38-27.
Yes, so ever since UAlbany had a 6-0 run to start the second half that has tied the game up at 27, Stony Brook responded with an 11-0 run. Juan Felix Rodriguez highlighting that with a 3 of his own, then many other shots by Green and Sewell bringing down a dunk. This is what you want Stony Brook to do when you're concerned about how they put up an offensive work. They may have to do the rest of this game without Omar Hobway because of that shoulder injury that he sustained while getting the ball over to Rodriguez to complete that 3-point play. But how do you think that Stony Brook is able to work on that 11-0 run when it looked like UAlbany was starting to gain possession to begin the second half?
Okay, Zach. Stony Brook has been able to go on an 11-0 run because they've been playing very great defense interior against Albany, and also contesting shots against Rizzuto, and Rizzuto has not really looked good today as he only scored 2 points this evening against Stony Brook, and making sure to get these transition points on fast breaks off of turnovers and allowing Stony Brook to score.
Yes, Stony Brook's defense is looking magnificent so far. They have limited the Great Danes to just 27 points so far. And against teams like UAlbany, Stony Brook has looked pretty sharp with that. They've done so against Hartford. They've done so on some occasions against New Hampshire. They did so against UMass Lowell. And this is exactly why Stony Brook is in that serious contention for a 5 seed. And like we keep saying, if Stony Brook sweeps the Great Danes, they're going to be the 5 seed in the tournament, and they'll be going to Hartford next weekend. And who knows about whether or not we'll be bringing you action for that. But we'll see what happens with this weekend so far. As the Binghamton Bearcats, of course, on the American East side, they're leading 40-30. And that could really, they're still leading in the second half. How do you think this really is shaping up the playoff pod looks of the first few rounds for the American East? The Stony Brook's defense, how do you think they forced UAlbany to have their top players like Antonio Rizzuto limited?
And this is very shocking about Stony because they're going against a team that averages the second most points in the American East Conference, which is 70.6 points per game. And Stony Brook so far has been really playing good defensively. And they can play like this defensively and get Mohamedou Gueye back. This is going to be a real problem for teams in the playoffs going against. They pull out with this momentum. Who knows? They could pull a lot of upsets going into the playoffs.
It's very possible. Gino Fort still has that confidence. So at the timeout, UAlbany with possession. Horton at the left elbow. He'll go out to the left for number 10. That's Brett Hank. Actually, it's Chuck Champion still. Rizzuto now top of the perimeter. He'll have to take a three. That was well short. And it was last touched by Pierre-Philippe. It stays with UAlbany with 4 on the shot clock. And once again, as we said, Rizzuto is not having his game. Doesn't seem like he's been able to hit a 3 yet. And now UAlbany will have to go fast. Have to go fast here out the inbound. We'll be right under the net on the baseline. Set up now.
Rizzuto is 0 for 6 from 3-point this game, and he's shooting 1 for 11, 1 for 12 on the field goal, and it's not really looking good for Rizzuto. This is really surprising because Rizzuto is the third leading scorer in the American East Conference from 3-point percentage.
So Chuck Champion had to go for an inbound, but Rodriguez tipped it away, so he'll try it again. Looking for an inbound, may do quickly in the net. Has to go to Rizzuto left wing, taking a contested 3, misses off the back iron. Pierre-Philippe with the ball, and he draws a loose ball foul. And that is against Jarvis Doles, and he cannot believe it. Could have been a possibility that UAlbany would have forced a turnover, but Pierre-Philippe is able to force another mistake on UAlbany's part. When you're in that position where you have to go for a quick 3 to beat out the shot clock, you can make it sometimes, but Rizzuto, for someone like him to miss it, that's unfortunate. So Stony Brook back with possession of the ball. Rodriguez over to Policelli right wing, taking a 3. This is off the left rim, but offensive rebound picked up by Green. Now he'll try a left corner 3. Bang! Tyke Green picking up where Policelli could not. And that continues a 14-0 run for Stony Brook. It's a 41-27 lead. Green loves playing pick-me-up, and Horton with the ball almost has stripped. He'll get it back after he passed it to Rizzuto. Champion left wing. Look at the push inside. Green's guarding him well. Had to go out to the left for Horton. Horton against Policelli. Goes over to his right for Doles. Doles trying to find somebody inside, cannot. Over to Champion left wing. Goes to his left for Doles, taking a 3, and misses off the rim, and Green picks up the rebound. Stony Brook's smart defense has not allowed a single point since the game was tied up at 27 to begin the second half. Defense on a mission.
This is very shocking about Stony Brook, making sure Albany doesn't get a lot of threes to hit during this game, because Stony Brook allowed the most 3-pointers in the American East Conference this season, and they're making sure Albany don't get easy looks from 3 points. So this is very surprising about Stony Brook.
And on the ensuing possession, Pierre-Philippe drawing a foul while trying to take a shot. And that brings up the first free throw opportunities for the Stony Brook Seawolves today. It takes them just 28 minutes before they finally find one of their players going to the free throw line. Taven Pierre-Philippe will be going for it. He is 6 of 9 overall this season. Make it 7-10 as he connects on the first. So up until this point, Stony Brook has not been able to draw up any fouls that have brought them to the free throw line, putting up a little methodical pace about how they don't need to rely too much on the free throws, even though that hasn't been a consistent look this season. Second free throw from Pierre-Philippe is good. He connects on both, getting his first 2 points of the game, and at the 12-minute mark, Stony Brook with a 43-27 lead against the Great Danes, making a 16-0 run now. Now Chuck Champion will go over to Dole's left wing, out to Kelly. Doles has the top perimeter, setting up for a 3, misses off the front rim, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it was last touched by Pierre-Philippe trying to pick up the rebound. So that will send us to another media timeout. 11:45 to go in the second half. Stony Brook on a 16-0 run, has looked really sharp offensively and defensively against the UAlbany Great Danes, and now it's a 43-27 lead for the Seawolves. After being swept by their last two opponents over the last 2 weekends, Stony Brook has really started to make drastic improvements. And even without their best players like Jane Sales and McGee, everybody else has been able to rise up to the occasion. What do you think is allowing Stony Brook to stay hot, especially against the UAlbany team that doesn't seem like they don't have too many injuries right now, but with Stony Brook, they have a lot more significant injuries?
And this is very surprising by Stony Brook, making sure that they're playing very good defense on the perimeter and making sure that if they drive, they double team and make sure wasn't Albany to kick it out to a shooter and contest. Making sure that the shooter is not open as he seems like he looks like he's open, to be honest.
Well, there has
and
to.
It's just the tables has really turned the second half as Albany was on a 6-0 run to start off the second half, and Stony Brook just turned up the tables and went on a 16-0 run. So this is really shocking.
Yeah, and like I said a little while ago, Stony Brook has multiple opportunities this season when they had double-digit leads late in the first half, but then that was ultimately taken away by the opponent. Hartford and New Hampshire were guilty of forcing that on Stony Brook, but it seems like this time Stony Brook is starting to look better on that. It almost looked the same entering the second half when UAlbany started to tie up the game, but Stony Brook has seemed to have changed it, and they are 12 minutes away from trying to keep a little momentum back and end that 4-game losing streak. Where you are right now, you're leading by 16 with less than 12 minutes to go. That can look good. If you can maintain that for a little while longer, and that could give you a good opportunity to win this game. And this is what Stony Brook needs to keep doing. They need to keep playing their defense, make sure they keep working well on the man-to-man, because there hasn't been any answers offensively by UAlbany so far. The shots are still stacked. The shots have been still looking pretty stagnant. Only 6 points in the first 8 minutes of the second half. And like we said, Rizzuto has not been looking pretty sharp as well. Leading scorer on the team has not been a catalyst. I think right now it's Kellen Taylor because of his free throws.
And yes, again, Rizzuto has been, it's not been Rizzuto's day this evening, shooting 1 for 12 from the field and 0 for 7 from 3-point, and that is very rare because once again, he's third in the American East in 3-point percentage and top 10 in American East in scoring, and this is crazy. 2 points.
Yeah, it can't get any crazier than this. And we're looking right now that Hobway has some bandages wrapped around his left elbow. We mentioned left shoulder actually. We did mention before that he had to come out of the game when he hurt his shoulder while getting a pass over to Rodriguez, completing a 3-point play. So on the inbound for UAlbany, Champion gets it out to Rizzuto right wing, putting it inside, goes for a layup, bounces it in. And after the Seawolves 16-0 run ends as a scoreless drought is ended by UAlbany, and they get their first points since tying the game up at 27. Now it's 43-29. Let's see if this helps them put a little momentum back. McKenzie trying to push it inside. He'll get it out to Green right wing. He'll go to the top Policelli. Philippe now has the left wing. Setting it up now. Sees Green open. Left wing. Trying to push it inside. He will against the paint. Tried to get a pass over to Elliott Sewell, but Sewell was not where Green wanted him to be. He goes out of bounds back to UAlbany. Well, that's communication that both players are still going to have to work on. Green and Elliott Sewell, they're new to the Seawolves team. This is their first year. This is going to be the only time they'll be playing with each other. Both of them aren't seniors. Green is a junior, and so is Elliott Sewell. So they'll have one more year with each other next season. As we approach the 11-minute mark, UAlbany trailing 43-29 with possession. Out to Rizzuto, top perimeter 3. Ranks it home. There's a little 5-0 run by UAlbany. Coming out of the timeout, this is the answer that they want, as they trim the deficit to 11 with 10:50 to go.
Rizzuto looks as for this shot to be his momentum. It is last 10 minutes of the second half, and in his first 3 of the game. Let's see what goes on.
Now Pierre-Philippe pushing inside, out to Policelli left wing. He'll go back to his right for Pierre-Philippe, 10 left to shoot. Sets back, taking a 3, rolling around, no good. Green picking up the rebound, and he was able to draw a foul. Almost thought there was a whistle called. Almost saw it looked like he may have hit the boundary marker, but Stony Brook able to draw that foul against UAlbany, and that's their 5th. So we got substitutions as Rodriguez and Stevenson Moore will check back into the game, along with McKenzie will check out too.
And that is a nice job by Stony Brook trying to get in the by Ty T. Green and making sure they have a chance at getting a second chance point, even though it was forced to turnover. But like Stony Brook has been doing all season, lead the league in rebounds, and that's what they've been doing, getting rebounds and trying to be able to score.
Stevenson Moore tried to drive it inside, but the layup could not complete. In a quick transition over to Rizzuto, right corner, he'll take a 3. Too strong, and rebounds picked up by Green. That would have been a big momentum change, but Green out to Stevenson Moore, right wing, pushing it inside. Going on the layup, misses, but draws a foul. And if Rizzuto had hit that 3, then this would have been a huge swing towards UAlbany's side, but for the moment, it stays Stony Brook's side, as Stevenson Moore will head to the free throw line for the first time today. Stevenson Moore getting double teamed well. Foul was called against Rizzuto. So Stevenson Moore, the second Seawolf to enter the free charity stripe today. He's up to 5 points so far. He is 86% from the charity stripe this season. See if that can help Stony Brook today. First free throw is good. Stony Brook's already in the bonus, as UAlbany has 6 fouls. So every foul that Stony Brook is able to draw while on offense, that sends him to the free throw line the rest of the second half.
That is huge for Stony Brook because they got 10 minutes left, and with a 12-point lead against Albany, and what they've been doing is attacking the inside and making sure they attack the interior defense of Albany, because Albany, once again, last in league in blocks, and making sure Albany draws fouls for them to hit the free throw line at the cherry stripe. Stevenson
Moore got both, as now it's 45-32 Stony Brook, as we are under 10 minutes to play. UAlbany with possession. Chuck Champion right wing. Rux fakes it against Mo Diallo, going for a floater, and it falls in. It took some real good air time, and Chuck Champion fortunate to find that one up there. And Stony Brook leads down to 11 again. Champion now up to 4 points. Green right wing, setting up for a 3. Air balls. And it goes out of bounds. In fact, it looked like it didn't hit the rim. Almost made it look from our angle that he got it. But it goes back over to UAlbany. In the second half, Stony Brook has had 2 shots from deep. UAlbany with only 1. That's come from Rizzuto. So 9:25 left to play as Stony Brook is up by 11. But as far as I can tell, there's still plenty of time for UAlbany to get back in. Stony Brook needs to keep up the defense. You need to get your best players out there to shoot. Champion trying to push it inside, trying to spin move around, and have to push it out. No good looks. Defense good from Stony Brook. Now Jarvis Stoles against Diallo. On the right, inside the right corner. Looking to push in. Floater. Taking a couple of bounces, and a foul called. Callan Taylor, kind of a little frustrated because he hoped that there would be another shooting foul opportunity for the Great Danes, but it was on the floor, it seemed. It looked like it may have been a loose ball foul called against Tyke Green. And I can tell, actually it is a shooting foul. So Dulles will head to the free throw line. Dulles, as I said, consistent free throw shooter, about 88% so far this season. First free throw is good. So now it's a 10-point game. Like I said, sometimes when you see leads like this, leads for Stony Brook like this, for teams, any team actually, start to still give the opponent some time. It's the second free throw, hangs off the top of the rim. So it's 1 of 2 that Dulles was. And Stony Brook still maintains their double-digit lead with less than 9 minutes to go. Stevenson Moore with the ball. Juan Felix Rodriguez left wing. Look for somebody available. Goes out to Pierre Philippe right wing. He'll set it up, pushing it inside. Goes over to Diallo. Lays it up, misses, but the putback by Green. Nobody guarding Green. Right place, right time. 47-35 Stony Brook.
That is just a great job once again by Stony Brook getting an offensive rebound and putting it back in after Green spent by Diallo and making Stony Brook go up 12, 8 minutes left in the second half.
Now it's CJ Kelly right wing. Going in against Diallo. Out to the left wing goes Champion. Has to go out to the left wing himself for Kelly. Trying a 3 is too short. And Stevenson Moore picks up the rebound. Now Green going inside. Goes for a layup. He is hit on the play and draws a foul. Tyke Green. It's really...
taking advantage that they're in the bonus. So attacking more inside. putting them up by 12, going to the free throw line, giving them an opportunity to go up by 14 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second half.
That would be very big because it looked like UAlbany was starting to get a little momentum out of their last time out. They were down by as much as 16. It is a 10-point game, but Green has a chance to make it more than a double-digit lead now. Just a single 10 points. As the first free throw, just too strong off the back iron. Green is 56% free throw shooting this season, and that's not big, but he is having a big day. 12 points and 12 rebounds, putting up a double-double. He hasn't had a double-double when he was at Manhattan. He had one in his first home game for Stony Brook, as the second free throw is good. So he's able to get the second one down. It is up to 13 points. It's 48-35 Stony Brook with 8:10 left to go in the second half. Stony Brook holding off UAlbany's run to try and get back in this game. And Stony Brook, as I said, they remain in the bonus throughout the rest of the second half. And let's see if the Seawolves can use that to their advantage. Brazil with the ball now. CJ Kelly open. He'll go to his left. Stevenson Moore guarding him top of the perimeter. Moves over to the right wing. Tried to push it inside. Oh, had the ball stripped away, but the foul is called. It looked like a clean steal away from Mo Diallo. Hard to see that myself. But that'll send us to another immediate timeout. So with 7:56 left to go in the second half, UAlbany's trying to get a little catch up. They outscored Stony Brook by 3 out of the last timeout, but Stony Brook still up 48-35. Stony Brook's looking pretty good, so Stony Brook's still looking pretty strong. We saw UAlbany able to cut it to as much as 10 after they were down by as much as 16, but good news for Stony Brook is that they're keeping momentum on their side because they still have a 13-point lead with less than 8 minutes to go. How do you think Stony Brook was able to keep UAlbany from getting a big run?
Well, Stony Brook needs to do what they are doing on offense. Making sure after a miss, go aggressive and attack and get rebounds. Offensive rebounds and have a chance at second chance points. And that's what Stony Brook has been able to do. Even though Albany has been trying to go on a little run and it hasn't good for them because of Stony Brook fighting back offensively and keep being aggressive offensively. And on defense, make sure, again, contest these three-point shots. Make sure Antonio Rizzuto and CJ Kelly don't get open shots from three. Make sure that Jarvis Doles don't get an easy look either.
And that's where the defense has been playing that role in limiting the likes of CJ Kelly and Antonio Rizzuto. There's only 35 points so far for UAlbany in the first 32 minutes of this game, and that says a lot about Stony Brook trying to dramatically improve their defense. Because it's like we said, it's been one big nail biter against Stony Brook and UAlbany over the last few years. But ever since both years have come out what seems to be their post-dynasty, when UAlbany used to have Will Brown looking good along with Peter Hooley and Steve Pikiell and Jameel Warren looking strong for Stony Brook. Ever since then, both teams hasn't really been that too much of a big week. There could have been multiple opportunities for them to go to the America East Championship, but ever since the last time that they had that dynasty of theirs, UAlbany was the last team to go to the America East Championship. Stony Brook has not been there since they won in 2016. So UAlbany last went there in 2017. They lost to Vermont by 3. And it was a low-scoring game that UAlbany was looking strong at first, but Vermont was able to put away that game for good. And that was still with the likes of Trey Bell Haynes. So out of the timeout, 7:56 to go in the second half. Stony Brook up 48-35, UAlbany with possession. Looking to try and get a little run going to keep hope alive. Out to CJ Kelly, right wing. Fakes the three, push it inside, right lane jumper. Goes off the rim on the bounce, and Policelli picks up the rebound. That's what Stony Brook wanted to do defensively coming out of that timeout. Keep momentum on their side, because momentum would have started going to UAlbany if they had made that shot. So Rodriguez, right wing. He'll try and push inside, and an offensive foul is called on Policelli. Had too much contact against Rizzuto, it looked like. Gino Force ain't happy. It would have been a big opportunity for Stony Brook to extend their lead and nearly have a chance to put the game away. But both teams are now in the bonus for the remainder of the second half. And let's see how much of an impact it plays for the rest of the second half. Champion left wing goes out to the top for Doles. To the right wing for Kelly. Going inside to Taylor. Gets the fadeaway shot. Rolls it in. That's what UAlbany was looking for after they couldn't get in on the last possession. They now cut it to 11. Kellen Taylor now up to 11 points. Rodriguez.
Taylor catches the ball and dribbles it between two defenders and fades away. That is a really nice shot, and that might look really big for our Albany comeback.
So Rodriguez left wing, pushing it inside against a double team, lays it up, misses, too strong. Elliott still almost had the ball stripped away, but it goes back into the hands of Champion. Champion slowing it down right wing. He'll look to set it up, moves over to the top. He'll go to the right for Kelly. Kelly setting it up, go to the left for Taylor. Inside over to Doles. Doles go to the floater, just short, gets his own rebound, can't hit the layup, it's too strong, and Policelli picks up the ball. Unfortunate because it was really close of Doles being able to get an easy shot that would have kept momentum on UAlbany's side. But Stony Brook back with possession, still up by 11, less than 6.5 to go. Rodriguez will slow it down. Stony Brook needs some points to start putting this game away. Policelli starting to milk a little shot clock, 7 left to shoot. He'll take a deep three, bang! Oh, Rodriguez with no hesitation says, I want that, and he got it. Another three-pointer on the day. That's 13 points for Rodriguez. 51-37 Stony Brook.
That is just a good ISO call by Rodriguez. Realizing he has a one-on-one defender. Realizes that the time is going down on the shot clock and bangs down the deep three as he shoots 5 from 8 and has 13 points this evening against Albany.
On the ensuing possession for UAlbany, a foul called against Tammy Pierre-Philippe on the floor. So UAlbany is in the bonus. That sends Kellen Taylor to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Taylor has, as we said, has been seeing a lot of free throw trips so far today, but he hasn't been perfect. He is 7 of 9. That's saying something, as he is usually way less than that. Taylor on the first free throw, hits in. On 1-and-1, there's going to be a lot more pressure for you to get the first free throw, because that will guarantee you getting those 2 free throw opportunities rather than it is on a double bonus. Both teams with 7 fouls in the second half. Now with substitution, McKenzie checks in for Pierre-Philippe. Taylor now preparing for the second free throw. It goes up, and it's in. And now both teams have hit 5 of 6 from the charity stripe in the second half. Stony Brook up 51-39 with less than 6 minutes to go in the second half. Stony Brook still trying to play some defense. Neither team can afford to commit any fouls now. We'll see whether or not there's a lot of pressure on both sides. McKenzie still trying to milk a little shot clock as it goes down to 10. McKenzie at the right wing, looking to push it inside, out to Stevenson Moore, bad pass. He couldn't get a good one down to him, and it goes out of bounds, back over to UAlbany. Do you think it was right of McKenzie to milk the shot clock?
Yes. To prevent Albany from coming back, because Albany is down by 12, and if you look right now, every single possession, milk down the clock. Unless you see a wide open take to the basket, milk down the clock. Make sure you take possession away from Albany for them to come back.
So here they are with the ball. Rizzuto top of the perimeter against Green, looking to push it inside. Gets the floor down, misses, and rebounds picked up by Stevenson Moore. Rizzuto had once again another clean look, but he just went too strong off the back iron. And Stony Brook back with possession. Defense is still giving them a boost, and that's what's going to allow Stony Brook to win this game if they keep it up. Now McKenzie left wing. Sets up. Trying to push it inside. Has to go out to the top for Rodriguez. And still look to reset. Shot clock down to 10. Rodriguez against Rizzuto. Pushing towards the left elbow. Steps out. 5 left to shoot. Goes up for a deep 3. Off the back iron. No good. Rebounds picked up by Kellen Taylor. Ball stripped away from Policelli. Goes up for a layup and he got it. Right time, right place for Policelli himself. Stripping the ball when Champion wasn't seeing it. And Stony Brook cashes in those 2 points. 53-39 they are.
That is just a great defensive play by Policelli. Realizing that he couldn't get the rebound and strips the ball for him to get a basket into the paint with 4 minutes left in the second half.
CJ Kelly misses the 3 on the left wing, and Stony Brook will get the ball back. And it looks like they're starting to get a lot more good looks as milking the shot clock has been helping them maintain their double-digit lead. McKenzie with the ball. Near the logo. 10 left to shoot. McKenzie pushing it inside the paint. Out to left wing is Stevenson Moore from 3. Boom! It rolls in! Stevenson Moore, his keeping 3-point Shots looking good for Stony Brook. And now it's a 56-39 lead. Stony Brook up 17. Now that's their largest lead of the game. Right places, right time, it still is. CJ Kelly tried to get the layup. He misses, and Policelli picks up the rebound. Oh, Stony Brook is starting to see that ninth overall win of the season, 7th conference win of the season upcoming. It's starting to look very good for them, as defense is really the biggest reason why they are having a big lead could come away. As McKenzie out to Green, right wing, he'll try a three, misses off the top of the rim, and the rebound's picked up by Taylor. Taylor will go quickly in transition after Champion. Champion right elbow jumper, just short off the top of the rim, but it's picked up by Taylor. Now CJ Kelly sets it up right wing. Policelli moves out to the top for Rizzuto. Now Sam Schaefer with the ball goes over to Champion. Champion right near the AE logo. Goes over to the right wing, pushing inside, lost the ball in transition. It's picked up by Stevenson Moore. And we're at the 3-minute mark. And Green will slow it down. UAlbany not forcing them because this game is starting to become out of reach for them. Ball poked away. And Rodriguez picks it back up. And Rodriguez near the timeline. 13 on the shot clock. And drew a foul against Rizzuto. Pretty unexpected on both sides. So that brings us to what could be our final media timeout. Less than 3 minutes away. Stony Brook starting to taste victory. Starting to taste their 3rd straight win at SFQ Arena as they lead it 56-39. This has been one amazing second half by Stony Brook, and their 3-point shooting and their defense could have been much more better.
Yes, this is very impressive by Stony Brook. Outscoring Albany 29-18 in the second half and going on a 16-0 run in the beginning of the second half. And you're seeing a lot of Stony Brook playing really good defense against Albany, contesting shots and making sure they don't have any space to attack it inside, because that's what Stony Brook is best at, attacking the inside. And they haven't been able to do that. And Antonio Rizzuto hasn't been able to knock down an easy shot this evening.
Yeah, I think I am very impressed with Frankie Policelli because he's had a lot of great plays today. That three-pointer to end the first half, and the one we just saw before where he had the ball stripped away as UAlbany was about to get possession back and goes for an immediate layup. Policelli is really starting to put up a good look as an elite player that he wants to be. Getting that experience from Obi Toppin and the Dayton Flyers 2 seasons ago when he was still a part of the team. He was on the bench last season because of transfer rules, but seeing what Obi Toppin and Dayton did, of course you all remember the Dayton Flyers probably going to be the 1 seed in the tournament last year if it wasn't canceled due to COVID-19. But Dayton had an impressive season, and with Frankie Policelli gaining that experience from an amazing team like Dayton, which is part of a very impressive Atlantic 10 conference, where the winner will probably gain a really good seed in the NCAA tournament. The last winner was VCU, who got the 8th seed in the NCAA tournament. It looks like VCU could be the champions of the Atlantic 10 again. But this is exactly what we're talking about. Gino Ford getting a great find out of Frankie Policelli and being the Lehigh product, one of the best high school programs in the country. This is going to shape up the Stony Brook team roster for years to come.
And yes, it really looks good for Stony Brook future because you have a player like Frankie Policelli who's been on a winning team and knows how to win, and you need players like that because experience is very big key in order to be a championship team. And Stony Brook has a lot of experience coming from the younger classmen.
This is exactly what I was saying to start the game. There was still, even with the last 4 games that Stony Brook has dropped to UMBC and Vermont, there were still some pretty good performances that they were able to put up despite the losses. And Gino Ford was still confident that this team had a chance to make a good run in the America East tournament. And what they're doing today is an example of that. Defense playing well. Offense is looking well enough. So Rodriguez going to the free throw line on the timeout. First shot is up and good.
And yes, and if you're Stony, you need to rely a lot on defense because, again, before this game, Stony shot the last in the conference in 3-point percentage, and they're relying a lot on their defense, so they're going to get more momentum off. They keep playing great defense.
Yeah, the defense wins championships. That's always the statement. Second free throw from Rodriguez falls out. Green tried to pick up the offensive rebound, but Kellen Taylor will pick it up instead. 57-39 Stony Brook with 2.5 minutes left to go before the end of this game. Cameron Healy with the ball, gets it over to Schaefer. Kellen Taylor with the ball now, gets it back to the top for Schaefer. Trying to find somebody available. Policelli nearly stripped away, but gets to the Taylor right lane. Spinning around Green, going for a layup as well off the back iron, but the putback made by Sam Schaefer. And UAlbany brings it back down to 16.
Nice spin move by Taylor.
You don't see too much of Sam Schaefer that often. Schaefer is 1.7 points per game so far this season, and he doesn't really get much playing time, actually. Sophomore guard forward, transferred from Southern Illinois, part of the Missouri Valley Conference. Stevenson Moore was trying to get a rebound, but Schaefer poked it away from him but behind it in the process, getting the 2 points. We already have it, and there's another timeout. Of course, with 2:19 left to go and Stony Brook up 57-41, I wonder whether or not this is going to be a chance for UAlbany to try and get a little full court pressure on this next possession, on Stony Brook's next possession, as UAlbany will try to put a little pressure to keep themselves just in reach of a game, hoping for some type of miracle. But you can't expect too much of it. UAlbany has 1 timeout left, Stony Brook has 3. They haven't used a timeout since they were down 8-2 early in the game. Rodriguez gets the inbound to McKenzie, almost got double teamed, gets it back to Rodriguez. Fires over the timeline for Green, wide open to left wing, he'll slow it down. And that's what we want to do to milk out the rest of this game as we are about to approach the 2-minute mark. So Rodriguez will play around with the ball as there's 15 on the shot clock. He'll go to Green left wing. Back out to Rodriguez, same position, right near the logo. Moving it around right wing. He'll go out to Stevenson Moore, right corner, taking a 3. Misses off the rim, and his rebound's picked up by Jameel Horton. Now Horton with the ball. Gets the ball over to JoJo Anderson. Anderson taking a contested jumper off the top of the rim, too short. The offensive rebound poked up by Horton, and Healy on the left wing 3, too short. McKenzie tried to pick up the rebound, and he will against Anderson. Like I said, Cameron Healy is not the star that he was last year for the team. Not the same one that put up 27 points against Stony Brook in the quarterfinals. And Stony Brook with the ball, down to 1:22 left to go. Stony Brook about to go to 7-8 in the conference, 9-12 overall. They will have a chance to sweep UAlbany and claim the 5 seed tomorrow. And that's when the America East Men's Basketball Tournament will be set. Policelli with the ball in the paint, going on the contested floater just short off the top of the rim, and it's picked up by Luolka. Now Schaefer back with the ball as he crosses the timeline. Slows it down back over to Luolka. They get it back to Healy left wing. Moves over to the top against Policelli. He'll go to the top for Schaefer. Trying to find somebody inside. Can't find anybody available. Back out to Horton. He'll go to his left for Luolka. Now back to Anderson left wing. Thought about a 3. Poked away by Stevenson Moore. Takes it the other way. No resistance. He'll dunk. Right down Main Street.
That is just a nice defensive play by Stevenson Moore. Stripping the ball and having a fast break dunk. Put it Stony Brook 59-41 second half.
And Cameron Healy on the ensuing possession gets a wide open layup inside the paint, but Stony Brook won't care. As they get the clock back, about 2-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Not gonna matter. Stony Brook about to get themselves out of a 4-game skid and puts UAlbany in the driver's seat. Stony Brook, as I said, about to get their 7th conference win. We're down to 5 on the shot clock. McKenzie against Anderson. It's going to milk it down to the shot clock violation. And that's exactly where it is, as we have 2.3 to go on the game clock. So Schaefer, looks like he'll about to go for an inbound to Anderson to end the rest of this game. Schaefer patiently waiting for the ball from the ref. He'll go looking for an inbound. He'll get it over to Anderson. As Anderson crosses the timeline, half-court 3 at the buzzer, well airballed, and that ends your ball game. The Stony Brook Seawolves end their 4-game losing streak at UAlbany against their Empire rival, take down the Great Danes 59-43. The exact type of win that Stony Brook needed, defense playing a critical factor, and it looks like 3-pointers were starting to light back up for Stony Brook, and this is what they want going down the road.
This is just a shocking win by Stony Brook. Albany coming in as 3.5-point favorites against Stony Brook prior to this game, and Stony Brook just did a very great defense, allowing Bazzuto to not get an open look from 3 and just making it short. Albany doesn't take it inside against them because, Stony Brook is a very good interior defense team, and unfortunately, Albany couldn't hit threes as they usually do on a regular basis. Because Stony Brook, before this game, 3-pointers in the American East Conference. And this is just a really good job by Stony Brook. And they look to how they left off today against Albany.
Yeah, this is a win that Stony Brook really needed. Like I said, to end that 4-game losing streak that they had against the likes of UMBC and Vermont, who we did mention is the top 2 teams once again in when it comes to when the America East tournament is coming. But Stony Brook keeping that good winning streak alive against the Great Danes, they now move it up to 4. They were trying to get some live stats, and of course, it doesn't seem like anything has been updated for a little while. But we know for a fact that this was a type of game that both Rodriguez and Green were able to do well when leading. Even with no Mo Gee and Jane Sales, Stony Brook was perfect in being able to trot on without them, especially when Omar Hobway had to come out of the game late. Even with everything that they faced.
And yes, it was just a nice game by Stony Brook with Jose Rodriguez leading scorer with 14 points, and he was really looking hot. At some point during the game, he was 5 from 6 from 2.
So with that, Stony Brook will move to 7 and 8 in the conference, 9 and 12 overall. And they'll face UAlbany one more time for their final regular season conference game. If Stony Brook wins, they're the 5 seed and will head to Hartford for the first few rounds of the America East tournament next weekend. But if UAlbany somehow gets back the win, then it's going to reshape the America East once again. Of course, on the other side, for the men's basketball in the America East, we know that there's also there's Binghamton and NJIT, and with a minute to go, Binghamton leads the Highlanders 73-61. So that could change things up as well in the America East. That means that Stony Brook will be 1 game ahead of NJIT. And right now, Stony Brook has a better conference winning percentage than the Great Danes do. So right now, Stony Brook, they are currently the 5. So right now, Stony Brook is currently the 5 seed, and they can keep that if they win tomorrow. So that will finish everything up. Thank you for listening in to the live stream of YouTube. Your final score once again, the Seawolves break their 4-game losing streak to defeat their Empire rival Great Danes 59-43. They will stay at SFQ Arena tomorrow, and the game will be at 2 o'clock. We won't be live streaming that game. We have other calls to go for. For everybody listening in, I'm Zach Wilson along with Momodou Cisse. Thank you for listening in again, and we hope you have